Simba, Elijah Charles Kiage. On this particular hour, these are the stories that we are working on as we build our way to our main bulletins at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Attorney General Justin Muturi had a rough time on Wednesday morning explaining the role played by his office while appraising a number of projects, including the scandalous ownership of Kenyatta University Training Research and Referral Hospital and the Kiambu Squatters Land Tussle. Appearing before the National Assembly Public Investments Committee, Muturi castigated rogue public officials colluding with their respective agencies to subvert the will of the public.
The work done by the membership of this committee, Kenyatta University Teaching, Research and Referral Hospital, therefore automatically, under the provisions of the Health Act 2017, it becomes a national government entity. So, we need to know, can the Ministry of Health of its own vest something that, some property that belongs to another organization to another, create a body and say now this one which used to be yours, it now belongs to the Honorable CA. It doesn't mean, this response doesn't address that point. And for me it's an important, it's a very important issue. Because if Kenyatta University developed Kenyatta University Teaching, Research and Referral Hospital, then you cannot say that you have taken it away from Kenyatta University and created a parastatal and tell them you now own it. You would have to go again, as we have resolved in the other matter, a possibility that could be explored. You have to go through, as per the Constitution, through a process of compulsory acquisition.
AG, we want to be very categorical. We are moving, the court already ruled that the land belongs to Kenyatta University. We want your commitment and the plan. You put together a multi-agency unit, which we will be there to oversee. Bwana AG, we want those. There's a thing called green something that pulls down buildings very easily. We want to be there when those buildings are coming down. Then Kenyans will know that now times have changed.
Response on Kiambu, which we have given, is most unsatisfactory. I want to confirm that, and I'll ask the committee to give me.
Moving on, Attorney General Justin Muturi has stated that the WorldCoin registration and the operation in the country do not meet the legal requirements and the Company Act requirements, according to Article 57 of the Kenyan Constitution. Appearing before the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee investigating the controversial project, the AG noted that the WorldCoin lacks certificate of compliance and its operations in Kenya are therefore illegal.
If I am the data commissioner, I'm looking at the regulations and an application is before me, and I am required to inquire from this applicant the registration certificate, the wording of this regulation. Is it clear? Does it state it is the registration certificate from country of origin or the certificate of compliance issued by the Registrar of Companies here in Kenya to regulate the doing of business of a foreign entity in Kenya? I submit to you it is not clear, member. The registration certificate needed something further to qualify it in order for this applicant to furnish the document. What we do know for sure is that a registration certificate was issued to this data controller known as Tools for Humanity, trading as WorldCoin. It was issued with a data certificate, with a registration certificate to conduct its business of data controlling and processing. So you want to be registered as a data controller to collect information, personal data. You prefer the application and it is registered. It is approved and registered. You're issued with a certificate. You need to find out who else do I need to comply with in order to be on the correct side when I am getting information from members of the public, so that I am actually transparent in my dealings, so that if an inquiry is made into where this data is going, I can say I registered to collect data and send it here for processing so that we can later use it in this manner. So there is no onus, there is no burden on the data commissioner to tell the applicant, please go to Registrar of Companies. No, the duty falls on the client, the company, to be in compliance with the laws, because they not only are going to be regulated by the data commissioner, but also by the Registrar of Companies.
The spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, has launched a medical camp at the railway dispensary in Shimanzi, Mombasa County, in line with a Boy Child initiative which aims at dignifying lives of 1,000 youth across the country. The camp targets those addicted to drugs, and a similar camp is set to be launched in a Meritini area later this week. Youth turned up in hundreds of numbers for the KDF recruitment at Nyahururu Stadium with the hope of joining the armed forces. A good number of youth from Nyahururu sub-county were however turned away due to various reasons ranging from lack of proper documents to naming disparities, among others. According to the senior officer in charge of recruitment at the center, Lieutenant Colonel Pius Lashan, the exercise went on smoothly, save for such cases that were reported. He observed that KDF had stipulated clearly the requirements needed for one to join forces, and hence there was no way for shortcuts or manipulations.
Kwa majina naitwa Joseph. So nilikuwa nimefika hapa Nyahururu kwa shughuli ya recruitment. Na recruitment imekuwa poa, but tumekuwa na challenges kidogo. Kama mimi yangu, nitaongea yangu, nimekosa kufaulu kwa sababu ya majina, in issues. Like majina yangu venye imefuatana kwa ID na certificates. So hiyo ni makosa yenye hatujakuwa na information ati tunafaa majina yetu yafanane.
Nilikuwa nimekuja hapa uwanja ya Nyahururu Stadium kujaribu hii sekta ya jeshi, lakini unfortunately nilitolewa juu ya kukosa form class 8 certificate. Nilikuwa tu na form 4 certificate. Sikuwa na information yoyote ati ya form ya class 8 unaweza beba, juu hata ile kazi mingi tunaulizanga atuitishangu hii class 8 certificate. Tunaendanga tu na form 4 na ID.
The recruitment process has been smooth. We've had many young Kenyans who have shown up to seek opportunities to work in the KDF. The turnout has been great, and the process has been smooth. So far, the recruitment process is going on well, and we are expecting to recruit the most qualified persons who meet our qualifications to join up the Kenya Defence Forces. Since I've started the recruitment today, we've not had a case of fake documents. Only cases of disparities of names or of people who have their ages is a bit outside of what we are looking for.
The National Dialogue team has settled on an agreement framework that will guide the talks spearheaded by the 10-member committee. The team has agreed on a 60 days time framework within which consensus will be sought on national issues on the table for discussion. The Senate had already approved the talks framework as forwarded by the National Assembly, paving way for discussions on a proper final report will be anchored on.
We have made tremendous progress. Wahenga ndio alisema ukiona vielea ujue vimeundwa. So a lot of work has been done ndio sasa vitu vimeanza kuelea. We want to encourage Kenyans to continue to have faith in this team. The cameras, I'm sure, will have focused on National Dialogue Committee. We've given ourselves an acronym, NADCO. So ukimwona mama pale mheshimiwa namuita NADCO member, not hardcore, or Hassan Omar, all of us. And I can tell you the gelling is tremendous, and that's why we are making progress. We thank our technical teams, and indeed we thank our both houses of Parliament, the National Assembly and the Senate, because they have now given their unanimous approval and support to the work of this team. So yeah, we're going to sign the framework agreement soon after this, and we're also going to sign agreement on the issues that will be presented. And we're going to tell Kenyans what to do next. We continue to reiterate that this is serious national work. If ever there was a moment that this country should come together, it is now. And we are determined as a team to make sure that happens. And we continue to tell Kenyans to ignore the naysayers. There will always be those who feel threatened for whatever reason by something so illustrious, because this is wonderful work. And we're going to move very, very fast. A lot of work will be happening also. I think sometime we've agreed on the work plan again, the dates and everything, and when to have stakeholder engagement.
We have adjourned to Friday this week at 10 a.m. to allow the Secretariat and the technical teams to work on prioritization of the issues and guide us on how we prioritize what issues do we begin with, so we'll be able to communicate that decision once we meet again on Friday. On the question of whether we are able to stop the selection panel, we are not writing to them to stop doing their work. It's just to take what has been described by the Honorable Eugene Omalo in our meeting as judicial notice of the ongoings of this National Dialogue team. Therefore, even as they progress their work, then they take note that it's part of the issues that we are engaging on. And for sure, I am certain when we begin to engage with stakeholders, those are among the stakeholders most likely that we'll be engaging with.
Women in Kisii and Nyamira counties have vowed to fight social and cultural obstacles hindering them from enjoying their constitutional rights. In an annual conference in Kisii, which drew over 200 participants from varied women and leadership groups, the women agreed to engage in wide consultations to condemn harmful retrogressive cultural practices.
Kwa wakati mwingi watu wamekuwa wakiongea kuhusu uongozi wa wamama Kenya, na Gusii inapaki kuwa jamii moja ambayo haijaikuwa na mumama hata mmoja mwenye amekaa pale bungeni, ila tu kwa ile position ya women rep yenye ilikuja kwa sababu ya affirmative action. Tunajiuliza ni kwa nini kwa Kisii tuko na shida. Mama kama Senchudi anatuelezea hiyo miaka ya 1990s alijaribu, watu wamekuwa wakijaribu, bado hawawezi. Ni kuwa tuelezani, hatupeani mawaida, ndio tunataka kuangalia.
Tumekuja kwa Queen Sigala tuonane na wamama kutoka Kenya mzima ambaye tutasaidiana kwa kuzungumza maneno yetu ya wamama, kuinuana sisi kwa sisi. Wengine wako na akili nyingi kuliko wengine, so to tap from this occasion.
So we are encouraging one another. Kuna contractors hapa, wamama wa Kisii na biashara. Kuna wale ni landladies wako na nyumba wamerent hapa Kisii town. Kuna wale wengine wako na gari kwa barabara zinafanya biashara. Na tumekata FGM, teen pregnancy. Tunataka wamama wetu wasome, watoto wasome, hata sisi tusome, mambo itatufanya we live long.
Finally, on sport at this hour, Eldoret RFC has promised their fans a great performance ahead of this weekend's National Rugby Circuit. The former Kenya Cup champions, together with the University of Eldoret Trojans RFC and Arsonists of University of Moi, will be the host of the T-Sub Sevens that will be held at Eldoret Sports Club. Eldoret RFC is participating in Division 2, and they are currently in position 16 in the log of the circuit that is sponsored by gaming and betting company SportPesa.
We have no reason not to perform. That's why we are in training right now, so that we can perfect on our mistakes that we had with the previous tournaments, so that we come up clean. I'm so happy at least we have this moment so that we can showcase our own talent out there, so that people can know what we have back home here. First, it's a big opportunity having this, and if we come up well in this tournament, first as the captain I'll be grateful to carry it home. And also it will be a good challenge to my team that whatever we've been pushing in the training, it has come up well in the game.
Yeah, it's a unique pool. Having Sigalagala in, it will be a bit of a challenge, I bet. But they will bring their best, we will bring our best. And at the end of the day, we will wish to be in quarters, then in semis. That's our biggest target. And because now we have the resources back at home, I don't see if it will be a challenge. Being at home, at least we will be having less challenges because from the previous circuit, we have been having a lot of challenges in traveling, accommodation, and it has been a hell of a journey. But we have traveled through the storm, and we are at home, in which we'll have to present the best of us. Eldoret has been a dormant place for rugby since Petuka, and this one will at least bring it live for our fans, the sponsors, and the neighborhood, which is the community of around sports club. We are really welcoming you guys to come and see the best. Rugby is back at home, rugby is back at the core.
Well, since it's a sport, Manchester United fans say they're going to discipline Arsenal at the Emirates this weekend on Sunday. If you look at the number of injuries that they have compared to Arsenal, their team is completely depleted. We wish you the very best. And for Shabana FC fans, it's the start. You know, after many years of not being in the National League, we are now back. Guess what? We'll keep on pushing. Well, majority of these stories, and actually most of them have been covered on our website, that is on www.lookuptv.co.ke, our social media platforms at Lookuptv across all of them. I am Akia Simba. That is your trending news at this hour. I'll meet you at 9 p.m. for the main bulletin. Good evening.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch with us through 0700 893 542 or send us an email to info@lookuptv.co.ke.